7 o'clock, and here I am, folks. Sean Cotton doing my first live stream ever, and I want to thank Hunters Bay Radio and Lake of Bays Brewery and the Brew House in downtown Huntsville for commissioning me to kick off this series they've got going. It's that time where we're being forced to rely on technology and not being able to perform in public like I normally do. The learning curve is high as we're trying to diminish the curve for this whole virus thing. The learning curve is huge for people in my business. We're having to change the way that we do business. So once again, a big shout out to the Bay 88.7 FM for having me kick this thing off, as well as Lake of Bays Brewery and the Brew House for literally supporting local musicians. And this is a time where they don't necessarily need to be doing this kind of thing, but they care enough about music in their business, and they want to help us be able to keep up with our business as musicians. So I do appreciate it. Where do I start? I guess maybe pay homage to the Bay and pay homage to Huntsville, as well as the rest of Muskoka in this first number. Also happens to be the first number on my latest record. Also happens to be the title of my latest record. Only in Muskoka can you get dressed up in a Canadian dinner jacket, then canoe to the pub. Only in Muskoka is there a pickup truck with a boat on the back and a snowplow on the front. Only in Muskoka, only in Muskoka, only in Muskoka, Ontario. Got a neighbor who is rich enough to crash his seaplane. He can pay to fix it up. Lake Central Air Service knows him by name. Yeah, they're just waiting for him to again, 'cause they know he will. Only in Muskoka, only in Muskoka, only in Muskoka, Ontario. These are all true stories. I know a guy who bought himself an island. He only paid $800, but he sold it for $10 million. 'Cause back in 1940, it wasn't worth the taxes. Yeah, but now he's turning 90 and laughing to the bank with his great-grandchildren. Only in Muskoka, only in Muskoka, only in Muskoka, Ontario. People put old jump on ski-doos down in Gravenhurst, that is. They puddle jump on skis and snowboards too, and Hidden Valley. People Look that one up. We got moose and deer, fox, skunk, and bear, and porcupine roadkill on every road. Oh, you ever hit a bear? I tell you, I was driving from Huntsville on the Highway 11 South down to, from Burks Falls, that is, south to Huntsville. It was a dark winter night, and right about Novar, where there should have been a snowbank gleaming in the moonlight, there was something lying on the side of the road. It was big. It was black. As I got closer, I could see that it was a bear. Now, a few hours later, when I was driving north on the Highway 11 from Huntsville back to Burks Falls, by the time I hit Novar, I saw a lot of flashing lights. Yes, the OPP had surrounded that bear. That mound of bear. I wish I could have heard them trying to figure out what to do. How they were going to move that roadkill. Hope they didn't use a tow truck, so I could get awful messy. But in the heart of Huntsville beats a neighborhood that we call Music Mountain, and the music is good. Yeah, from Brunel to Young Street, Maple Heights to Maine, live more musicians than you could ever dream. You can hear them all on Hunters Bay Radio, only in Muskoka, only in Muskoka, only in Muskoka, Ontario, only in Muskoka, only in Muskoka, only in Muskoka, and maybe Perry Sound. If there's anything I've learned, say you've got to mention Perry Sound. Well, how are we doing?
Well, Grant wants to know how long your beard is. Do you measure it?
Gosh, my beard was probably about as long as that song. We don't have anything handy. Maybe, well, I guess my hand would be at least one hand length. So I don't know if hands count. You measure things in hand these days. I'm sure there was probably one era in human civilization, maybe not unlike what we're going through right now with the virus. Maybe hands were used to measure a lot of things. Beards, maybe not on the top of the list. Well, I wish I had a beard song to follow up that request. Maybe I can do a bit of a beard. A beard depends usually on what, or usually dictates what kind of requests I get out in the bars and pubs. And I might be getting to like a ZZ Top length. I'm probably past the Allman Brothers length. So I'll do a little ZZ Top for you here. When you wake up in the morning and the sunlight hurts your head, the first thing you do when you get up out of bed, you go downtown just to entertain the masses. Go and get yourself some cheap sunglasses. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Spot a little thing and I followed her all night with them funky fine Levi's and kinda tight. A West Coast strut, it's as sweet as molasses, but what really on me out was a cheap song. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get yourself some thick black frames with that gas. They don't even know your name. The choice is up to you, cause they come in two classes. Rhinestone shades or cheap sunglasses. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. All right, there was a beard song for you.
So it turns out you measure horses with hands.
That's true. You know, as I was saying that, it was coming to mind that horses are measured in hands. I don't know what that means. I don't know if they are actual hands and whose hands they were using to determine that. But taking a break for an hour from the internet, what I feel like I'm doing, even though I'm occupying the internet. Maybe you folks can do the Google research on all these little bits of trivia as we're going along, and I keep learning as we're listening. I'm going to do something now that that is very much what a lot of people are enjoying this time of year, and it's probably the only place that people loathe this time of year. Forced isolation of the sugar house. So I wrote all those long hours that people spend boiling the mass amounts of sap down to the small amounts of The sugar shack sits amongst the maples. It's the warmest place in the grove to be. A burning fire brings the sap to boil. Your thoughts drift away like the steam. Little cabin where big things happen. Life-changing plans are often laid. Maybe there's just syrup made from sap then, from time to time. Sometimes even babies have been made. The maple water evaporates like the hours of the day. That's just how life is in the sugar house. Time flows as slow as syrup, laughs pour out so fast you tear up. That's just how life is in the sugar house. Books get read and books get written. The jackknife graffiti reads Jim plus Jan in 87, Jim plus Caitlin in 93. So hunker down and settle in. Leave that busy other world outside. Just make sure that you're daydreaming. Doesn't let the syrup boil too high. The maple water evaporates like the hours of the day. How life is in the sugar house. Time pours as slow as syrup, laughs pour out so fast you tear up. That's just how life is in the sugar house. Basking in the maple steam, there's time to think and time to dream. That's just how life is in the sugar house. Oh, 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 that's just how life is in the sugar house. I'm sure you are all doing a lot more cooking than you used to do. So if you're a soup maker, maybe you feel a little bit of that right now during this time of isolation. I don't know. It is a strange time, especially I'm feeling it now, doing this kind of performance. I usually gauge a lot of what I do and what I do and a lot of what I say on the stage by what's happening in the room. Right now I'm in the room with my cell phone, and I've got Jesse maybe tapping into some of the comments that are coming through. I have been lucky enough to be commissioned by Hunters Bay Radio and Lake of Bay's brewery and brew house to perform for you. But in addition to that, we do have a pay what you can option for this performance. Jake, as of Lunch with Jake fame, hopefully he's going to be posting in the comments section where you can go if you want to pay a little bit of a cover charge for this. Things may be getting a little bit rocky here. Little technical issues as the heat of the room plays a bit of havoc on our MacGyvered phone stand that we've got to shoot this. Earlier I was talking about the learning curve involved in this whole experience, and definitely part of that learning curve is trying to keep the cell phone upright, and I think it's kind of rocking over again. We got the leaning cell phone of Works here. Yeah, I think you just got to squeeze it all around squeezable there. Right on. We getting there?
Not quite.
Well, in
Okay,
the meantime, I'm going to talk a little bit about the process here. Jesse Cotton's our technical crew for the production of this show today, and we did spend a whole day on Tuesday getting a high definition production together for this, and we learned that our internet service was not quite what it needed to be, and because of the isolation that everybody's living through right now, Bell's not doing any kind of fiber optic setups until May. So we're making do with what we have here. Yeah, I think they'll be shy with the sticking on the back there. Maybe you can squeeze it tighter.
Mm-hmm. I think. All right, that seems to hold.
Yeah, we're getting there. All right.
Okay, let's
We're
try
back
it.
in business. I suppose, folks, I could have just like maybe gone like this, and it would have seemed like everything was fine. But now we're back up. Good. But that's okay. You know, if there's a place you want to be stuck, it's Muskoka and the Omegan Highlands in the springtime like we're having right now. Pretty beautiful, pretty fantastic. We had a barbecue last night, first of the season. We've already had 2 bonfires. We're making the most of this. Call it a staycation. Call it what you want. I'm gonna call it living on Muskoka time. Dance around a little bit of this one. Down in Toronto, you can feel the heat, even in the shade of that tall concrete. Seems like everybody's losing their mind. You head to Muskoka, you'll find bareback girls sunning on the docks, bare-chested boys diving off rocks, bathing suits hanging on the line. We're on the water, man, we're doing fine. Oh, we leave our troubles behind. Living on Muskoka time. Living on Muskoka time. The morning sun brings up the dew as I head down to the water. Before anybody else is awake, I'll be climbing back out of the lake for a stroll on the soft forest belly, the fresh pine as far as you can smell, eating berries, picking wildflowers through the fields in a sun shower. Oh, we'll leave our troubles behind. Living on Muskoka time. Living on Muskoka time. Living on Muskoka time. The fans humming, it's another humid night. Mosquitoes buzzing by the boathouse light, the lake on the shore, laughing like lovers. You and me will be kicking off the covers. Yeah, pretty soon we'll be kicking off the covers. Oh, we'll leave our troubles behind. On Muskoka time, living on Muskoka time, living on Muskoka time, living on Muskoka time. Living on Muskoka time, living on Muskoka time. All right.
So we got David Papernick in the chat, wants to know where you're recording from.
Well, we are in the belly of River Mill Records, recording studio in the heart of Berks Falls, at the base of the water tower. It's almost like we're in the dungeon of the water tower, and it's a space where I do a lot of producing for songwriters in Muskoka and Omagwin Highlands. And thanks to Hunters Bay Radio, we've got a reason to do our recording, and they'll play our music, and we appreciate it more than anything in the world.
We've also got a couple mentions of your record collection. People seem to be jealous.
Oh, really? Okay. So we've got some jealousy in the audio files. Yeah, this is this storage unit, I think, is the only thing that sort of contains my self-control. I'm vowing not to. It's getting harder to find little slots, and I keep having to get rid of vinyl in order to put new vinyl in. Yeah, this all fits in a phone apparently, if you go a different route. But I do love the vinyl. Call it my retirement plan, really. Sit back in my chair and put on those old records. I'm going to tap into a bit of the nostalgia that records bring me right now. Some of you tune into Hunters Bay Radio, you may recognize this number. You can also go to seancotton.ca and find out a little bit more than you maybe already know about me, about my music and what I do. There's a video of this song. Others on seancotton.ca. A song called Shinny at the Schoolyard. There was a blizzard in '78 that shut down the schools. They had to call a snow day. For a kid in the second grade, more time for play was like a paid holiday. Like a sleigh ride, like a hillside, covered, packed autumn, where they built the ice rink. Skating outside, or what do you think? Asked the voice on the end of the line. It was Wayne, a good friend of mine. I said, listen, I'll have to get permission. I'll call you right back. Mama wanna play shinny at the schoolyard. They've got some ice at the school. Please can I play shinny at the schoolyard? I'll be back for supper. Mom was cool. She Didn't need persuading, I called Wayne back, didn't want to keep him waiting. We made a plan to meet at the swings, but first I had to do a few things like clean up my room, make up my bed, put on my long underwear and cover up my head. Promised that when I got cold and wet, I would not go to Wayne's but come home instead. Then I could play shinny at the schoolyard, on the ice at the school. Mom, I'm gonna play shinny at the schoolyard, I'll be back for supper. So off I went, a little hockey soldier. A stick through the blades of the skates on my shoulder, the wind burning my cheeks and my lips, wading through the snow to my hips on those trips. I could hear the crack of the game in the air, coming from the school. Even before I got there, snapshot snapping, slap shot slapping, stick blades clapping, passes tapping, laughter rooting and cheering, his shoots, trying to get the puck between the two boots. Who remembers the two boots? Now when I got to the swings, Wayne was waiting. Over at the rink, all the kids were skating. Girls with curls making swirls with their twirls like it was the ice capades. And some boys from older grades were flicking cards and making trades. Others frank, tightening the skates, sitting in the snowbank. Sky the color of roadside snow, ice bumpy and a little bit slow, but shoveled clean by some high school kids that pulled us around the rink on sleds. They've got some ice at the school, shinny at the schoolyard. Now when you're wet from snow and sweat, hot chocolate's as good as it can get. Sitting by the fire when you already know what you're gonna do first thing tomorrow. Shinny at the schoolyard, shinny at the schoolyard, shinny at the schoolyard. I'll be back for supper. Well, how are we doing out there in internet land?
Yeah, so a few people want to know what your favorite album is.
Okay.
Big question, I know.
I like this though. We may have some future programming in mind here. Maybe get away from the performance, get into a little bit of audiophile action. My favorite record. Wow. It's a tough one. There's a lot of them. It's definitely a lot of them. Maybe would be this one. Donny Hathaway Live is quite an incredible experience. It's a record where you wish that you were in the room at the time that it was happening, but the record makes you feel like you are at the time that it was happening. Oh, there's the picture I was looking for. It's on the back. Just a dank little club, and Donny Hathaway just jamming in this thing. Check it out, Donny Hathaway Live. You can check it out on YouTube, but it sure is nice to have it on vinyl. Actually, I was first introduced to this on a burned CD, but yeah, so to have Donny Hathaway Live as a piece of vinyl that I can put on the turntable and that needle goes in it and that club experience comes out of my speakers, I love that. But I mean, that's just because it's a great record. There's so many great records here. It's hard to choose just one, but probably the hardest question anybody could ask.
Well, then how about an easier question?
Okay.
So Riley Dunn wants to know, how many guitar cases do you go through?
Oh. Well, I'm now finding out that this guitar case I bought in order to record my last record only in Muskoka, and I purchased it in January of 2019. This one's still going, but I found today, using it under the microscope of this kind of performance and broadcast, that it's a little noisy. It's got, so by noisy I mean when you stomp on it, it presses back up and you hear that. So it, for professional purposes, it's done. So it probably, you maybe only get a good, I don't know, 10 months out of a guitar case before it starts to not sound as good as it should sound. But I definitely have gone 3 years pounding away on these things. And they don't fall apart like you'd think they would. They hold together pretty well. So I would give it a solid 3 years, but in order for it to sound the best that it can, you only really get 10 months out of it before getting a nice solid new case.
Well, we got our first song request.
Okay.
Jason Harnett wants you to play Bumper to Bumper.
Oh!
Sounds like they're missing the traffic.
Yeah, really. Like, that's like an anti-COVID-19 track. But I can do that one for sure. So I do a lot of Muskoka stuff just because I'm in the Muskoka area, and the tourists and the locals alike seem to like to hear songs from the area. I don't think that, especially from Southern Ontario, come up and want to hear a song called Bumper to Bumper when they're trying to escape their other life. But I definitely wrote this one from living down in the city. You couldn't have written it any other way. Yeah, this is Bumper to Bumper. Tow trucks swoop in and drag to the pound. Any car still parked, left to be found. Out on the streets between 4 and 6, 'cause you can't park in the city like you can in the sticks when it's bumper to bumper. Bumper to bumper. Parking lots empty till the streets overflow, and the horns start to honking 'cause the rush hour's slow. Tempers rise and radiators burst. The whole downtown is trying to get home first when it's bumper to bumper. Bumper to bumper. Bumper to bumper is the modern way. I can't believe that people do it every day. Brakes strain and boarding bells ring as the pedestrian traffic rains. There's the trains on the street, there's the trains underground, there's trains on the railways, east and westbound when it's bumper to bumper. Bumper to bumper. When it's bumper to bumper, that gridlock gonna make you wish that you could get out and walk. This usual congestion in the downtown core was the circling helicopters traffic report. It's moving slowly across the top on the 401, but when there's a jet, when it's bumper, bumper to bumper, bumper to bumper, you're just sitting idle, wild. Gonna be wild.
Sounds good. So Zach Fitzsimmons wants to know, who's your favorite guitarist?
Oh gosh.
All the hard questions.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on, what genre. Oh gosh. Yeah, I mean, I guess in the end, probably Keith Richards does it the most for me, but only because of the, I don't know, the feel that he puts in everything. But you know, he's also got his huge shortcomings as well. So it's really tough to say. You know, you got your Eddie Van Halen's. You know, Eddie Van Halen just like blew things wide open. You got Jimi Hendrix did the same thing. You know, 10 years earlier blew things wide open. Joe Walsh has got such a sense of humor. It's like everything that you hear it in his guitar playing. That it almost sounds like he's laughing when he's playing guitar. Yeah, so many great guitar players. That's just a short list. Yeah, these things could just get into whole episodes of what's your favorite. Maybe that should be something we do, is a what's your favorite, because there's a lot of them.
So you got a request for Headlights Off?
Oh, okay. All right, a little bit of Magwin Highlands thrown in there. I can do that. Let's see here. Oh, I feel like it's been a while. I definitely haven't done this one in a while. So, in order to make this broadcast sound half decent, better than your average cell phone live stream, I've had to modify things within the room. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot of sound coming from this leg, and it's not that I've got an appendage that is unique. I actually had to hide the bells inside the pant leg. I've got tambourine hidden inside here, and I had to use an old BC Rich acoustic guitar. It's probably dried out all to heck. It's been strung with electric guitar strings for, I don't know, a good 5 years. So all these things were intentionally chosen in the process of troubleshooting how this was going to come across on the cell phone. My usual guitar was just putting out a sound for the phone, as were the bells and everything else. So this guitar is tuning a little bit weird, but I think I can get it for this one. I think we're there. Let's see here. Headlights off. All right. This song is perfect for this time of isolation. The protagonist in this song is definitely feeling his own form of isolation. warmed the belly of my frozen car, hit the highway just after dark to cool my thoughts. I got pulled over by flashing lights, concerned I might be drunk tonight. Had my headlights off. Headlights off. Well, if I'm drunk, it's on a memory, so with a warning from the OPP, they let me off. I left the highway at Novar, passing lantern houses and sleeping bears with their headlights off. Headlights off. Nothing like dirt roads covered in snow, packed so hard you gotta take it slow so that you don't slide off. And the sky is purple and full moon night, fields glow and the moon is so bright you can still see the road with your headlights off. So I turned my headlights off. I wish she were with me like we were when we steamed the car up at the old drive-in till we both got off. When we made out, we laughed a lot and honked every time someone forgot to turn their headlights off. Oh, come on, turn your headlights off. Mistletoe on her rearview mirror and the way she used her knees to steer as she kissed her coffee. Her high beams streaming across my brain, but I can't turn them off the same way I turned my headlights off. Headlights off. Pulling up her driveway, I'll put it in first. I won't wake the dogs if the engine's purring, nice and soft. Maybe I should just turn around. Nothing good is gonna go down if I get caught. So that the moon doesn't give me away. This moon shadow, this twilight shade, my hiding spot. The front lines twinkling diamond snow. I'll just sit in the car and she'll never know I've got my headlights off. Headlights off. I've got my headlights off. She'll never know. Headlights off. All right, little song for no.
There's no more questions at the moment,
Okay.
but your mom's got a request.
Oh, okay.
She wants to hear Smoking in the Alley.
Oh, does a mom request make it unofficial? Is that why you?
I don't
said it
know.
that way?
I just figured it added to the story of the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, this is a song for Mom. At the time this song was written, marijuana was still legal. And it was, yeah, the song was not so much a statement as much as it was an observation. And with the legalization of marijuana, I thought this song would become obsolete. That it might have been a topical, timely kind of song, but it's kind of stayed relevant even in the time post-prohibition. A song called "Smoking in the Alley." Yeah, I'll be smoking in the alley. Yeah, I'll be smoking in the alley, baby. How about you? Everybody's getting rowdy at the bar tonight. Somebody's heart's gonna get broken. Some jerk will start a fight. But if you wanna get mellow and you're tired of booze, I'll introduce you to this fella I know about the name of Cruz, and he'll be smoking in the alley with a friend or two. Yeah, I'll be smoking in the alley, baby. How about you? If you want to drink liquor, gotta stay in the bar. And if you want to smoke tobacco, you gotta go outside. Now there's some rules, yeah, they still apply. They're kind of like the grown-up rules. If you want to drink liquor, you got to stay in the bar. You want to get loaded, gotta stay out of your car. And if you want to smoke tobacco, you got to go outside. And if you want to smoke that marijuana, man, you still gotta hide. So I'll be smoking in the alley with a friend or two. Yeah, I'll be smoking in the alley, baby. How about you? I'll be smoking in the alley with a friend or two. Yeah, I'll be smoking in the alley, baby. How about you? A little more self-isolation for you.
All right, so it looks like we're coming close to the end of the hour.
All right, okay. And as I can tell on the Rolling Stones clock behind me, we are in fact getting there.
So we probably got time for one more song. No requests right now, so I think this one's on you.
All right. Well, thanks everybody who did tune in. Hopefully you were able to find the PayPal link if you want to for this show tonight. I want to once again thank Hunters Bay Radio for putting on this series, and for Lake of Bays Brewery for again supporting the initiative. We're definitely learning during this time that the arts are a very important thing in our culture, as for a lot of us, we're relying on the arts to stay sane. And I think I'll finish off with a song that I wrote that kind of helped me stay sane at a time that I needed it most. The arts did what it is meant to do, and it was just a little ditty that I sang to myself to make myself feel better. And in that moment, I didn't realize that I'd written a song, and a year later, I went back to find that little ditty written on a piece of paper, and the song was done. It's a hopeful little number, and I hope you folks enjoy it. Do look for that PayPal link, and if you feel like this performance was worthy of a cover charge, I appreciate that. I think the efforts of Jesse Cotton and myself in trying to get this production together, come May when our fiber optic is hooked up, we may do a few more of these things in high definition with multiple cameras and really take this over the top a little bit. So thanks for everybody's patience and some of the technical difficulties we showed, but hopefully the rest of the performers will go through the same learning curve I've gone through, and things will just keep getting better from here on out. And maybe you'll see a little bit more of me on the internet in May. So have yourselves a great night, folks, and this goes out to everybody who's maybe struggling right now. This is called I Don't Mind the Rain. Well, I don't mind the rain tapping on my shoulder. No, I don't mind the rain. It whispers in my ear. No, I don't mind the rain, even though it's getting colder. No, I don't mind the rain against my window pane, but is it ever gonna end? I can't afford a taxi, but I don't duck indoors. No, now I just relax and take it as it pours. I walked out on my family. Well, now it seems that all I ever do is cry. I've no strength for fighting, just to stay dry. So I don't mind the rain tapping on my shoulder. No, I don't mind the rain. It whispers in my ear. No, I don't mind the rain, even though it's getting colder. I don't mind the rain coming round again. Everybody needs a friend, and falling like it does, touching all of us, I think it understands. So I don't mind the rain against my window pane, but is it ever gonna end? Have yourselves a great night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.